All right, so we've beaten four. One, two, three, four. We're going to do goat today. So this is a deck where you start with the black goat, and that's going to be our go-to one drop. We're going to look for ways to recur it, and that lets us play three drops very cheaply. And if we can do that, uh, we're we're going to be in great shape because we're going to be able to pump out these high-powered cards cheaply and efficiently. The question is, will we be able to get it as a recurring effect? And will we be able to get it as our only one drop so that it actually can work, right? So that we start with Mole Man, or Mole, which is an 0-4 that jumps in the way of attacks. We've seen it before used by the opponent. We've never picked it. It's not a useful card for us. Our goal is to get rid of it. And often what we do is sigil sack it onto. There's a sigil sack top right. We'll definitely be headed there. So a couple things that this deck leads us toward. One, we like the blood options for like card picking because we want three blood cards, right? We really want these high power, stupidly high cost cards. We want to run as many of those as we can. Okay, there's another black goat. I like the alpha. There's another moose buck. Moose buck is a 3-cost card. The beehive is a way to recur the black goat's effect a little, because if the beehives hit and you've combined those, then each bee also comes with a black goat ability. But it's not a great way to recur it because you can't sack it immediately or it doesn't get hit and you don't get the extra bees to sacrifice. So I don't think we want the beehive. We might be interested in a second black goat. There's no super fun combos here. So I think it's either black goat and moose buck or black goat and alpha or alpha and moose buck. I'm gonna go black goat and moose buck. Um, One benefit to another moose buck is if we combine them at the mycologist, that's very strong, right? All right, we're definitely taking the campfire here. We're not that excited about campfires. They give us a chance to get rid of the mole, but there's not something whose stats we really need to be boosting here. I think we'll try to take the chance to get rid of the mole because if we have a free opportunity to, we may as well. All right, we got lucky here. That's great. So now we just have black goats and moose bucks. That's our deck. And that's our game plan, right? Is 3 drops paid for by our goats. Now, we don't have an answer to the boss inherently. Moose buck is not great. And we can play a moose buck. And that's really what's going to be happening, is a lot of moose bucks will be played. Let's play our worst black goat, the one that has annoying, just to make sure we don't do something stupid later. I don't think there was an item coming up. How do we want to do this? They're going to be shoving things out of the way. I think this will end up killing the worker ant next turn. But I could be calculating it wrong. If so, it's going to be nice because it kills the bee behind it. Yeah, beautiful. Alright, so let's draw, I guess, the moose buck. And we'll just hit this turn. We can already see what this deck does. This deck uses a black goat, often with recurring. This time we just have 2 black goats, which is kind of odd. To be able to play high-cost cards. And those high-cost cards need to do work. Those high-cost cards need to win the fight, because once we run out of our black goat, we're in trouble. So we want to know, to play this deck well, what cards black goat can combo with to recur. Anything that creates extra stuff is a good combo with the black goat. Anything. So there's cards like the beaver, which everyone hates. It's a 1/4 that creates 2 0/2s that can't be sacrificed. But if you add the black goat ability to them, they can be sacrificed. So it can land and be 3 potential sacrifices, and so you can play that and suddenly drop 3 drops in a turn and just go nuts. Alright, do we actually want to sacrifice a card now? No, we don't. So if we go here, we're going to have to sacrifice the card immediately if we go to the right. So I'm going to go to the left because we already got rid of our mole. The standard thing to sacrifice the mole onto is the moose buck. It just isn't going to be harmful. All right, we're definitely taking the 2-drop here. We want to guarantee that we have black goats in our hand. And this is the deck that wants the hooved totem. We did the bones deck. That definitely wants canines. The mantis deck definitely wants insect. But we want elk hooves. And actually we got it. So that's something that if we can, that could be a way we get a recurring effect, is if we go to the woodcarver again. Which makes me actually think we could go to the right up here. We don't care much about the campfire. We're really happy to get items, but we're also really happy to go to the woodcarver again. I think the correct play is to go left, so we know if we have a win condition for the boss, but I'm so tempted to go for the woodcarver. I'm going to do the responsible thing and go to the left. We're going to use our items here. We're going to get an item refill. We'll see what we get and how we have to plan for the boss. Incidentally, this is a deck where we'd obviously really love a direwolf. That would be delightful for us. That's kind of like the ideal type of card. But really, our moose buck's just gonna do work. I see the beehive. I'm thinking about hitting that, but I think, oh, we can't hit the kingfishers. This moose buck doesn't have. I'm gonna make sure we do damage rather than hit the beehive. So I'm gonna put it here in front of the beehive so it moves away from it. It's not one of the moose. It's not our moose buck with annoying, which would boost the kingfishers against it. So I was gonna try to avoid them, and I did end up trying to mostly avoid them, but yeah, just something to be careful about. All right, our last card in the deck is we know a black goat, so we know our next turn we will draw a black goat into another moose buck, and we will win. So in that sense, this deck is kind of, I think the reason it's the second most popular after Mantis, or maybe most popular, but I think second, is its game plan is straightforward, and it can win fights really quickly. You're not having to make near as many decisions per fight, because you can so quickly lock into a strategy where I get out my 2 moose bucks or my direwolf or whatever, and I didn't have to build up to it. I didn't have to make decisions around it. I just get it out. So we're going to go left, and I don't mind hitting the tribal spot because we're really happy to hit elks, right? We know we like elks, and we didn't see elks. And I don't want to get a 1-drop. This is something I don't know. Which of these is least likely to give me an extra 1-drop? I think insect might be the most. I'm going to go canine. I was thinking we could get a direwolf, which would be great, and we could get wolf or direwolf puff, which I'd also be really happy with. Okay, we get the scissors. Now the pliers is not quite enough. Scissors plus pliers. Our moose bucks do not do quite enough damage yet. Interesting. We could get a backup black goat just in case we can't recur. I think the pliers bringing us 1 damage away makes this the closest. We're going to get another item draw. We need our campfire to be +1 attack, I think. If the campfire is +1 attack, we can boost one of the moose bucks to 4, and then our items are sufficient, which means I can't use items, even though we get the campfire before the item refill. That's slightly annoying. Is this our good or bad moose buck? This is our bad moose buck. Okay, I'll put it in front of not one of the flyers. Or so it moves to not in front of the flyer, so it will get hit by the beehive, but it won't mean we take more damage, like the kingfisher or the sparrow would make it. It does mean we'll get blocked on our counter swing, but we're not at risk of dying. I think we just want to kind of main deck until we get the goat, and then we can... Actually, we could play one of our 2-drops. We should play one of our 2-drops. We can draw a... Yeah, let's clear out the sparrow, get the wolf out. Our other move was just to draw main deck. If we got the black goat, maybe we sack into something, maybe we wait. But we could put the bee out and just get a point of damage from it. And we could also put it on the far right. I think the moose buck pushes things out of the way, but if there's nowhere for it to push it, and it would send the moose, it won't go there because there's card. All right, we're gonna pause. Okay, where were we? This looks like a good board state. I guess we just draw. We want our other black goat. I assume we have another black goat somewhere. So yeah, that's the basic idea, is we can play expensive cards that other decks can't. And we can sustain way more of the expensive cards, right? Like the zero cost deck and the egg deck, we're very good at playing like one expensive card per game, or maybe two. But this deck, we should be able to manage to do it repeatedly. One downside to having two black goats is if we find a way to recur one, we might end up drawing the bad one, right, as our opening hand, and running out of power when we can only play one of our high cost cards. So if we have a chance to if we make one of our black goats good, we might need to get rid of our other one. Oh yeah, I decided to keep the flyers. I forgot about that. All right, so I think we want to go elk because there's just a really solid chance we get something nice at a wood carver. And if we do, we want it to affect basically our whole deck. I like how different starting decks sort of feel like different, I mean, do really end up as different tribal options. Where with Bones, we tended to go canine. With Mantis, we went to insect. There's a skink deck where, if you get a skink, going reptiles appealing. There's no sort of start reptile deck. Ants also like insect stuff. Ooh, we got the +1 attack. Okay, so we have a way to beat the boss. Sorry it's running really slow now. Pausing the video must have made it all chunky. Let's put it on our better one. Actually, we could put it... It could also be on the wolf. Now, for us, the argument for putting it on the wolf... Oh, we also have the pronghorns, which can do an extra point of damage if needed to a lane that's opened. But the argument for putting it on the wolf is, unlike the moose buck, we can control where it lands. So it is a somewhat more reliable thing to land. I'm really tempted to put it on the wolf. To make the wolf a 4/2. But no, I think yeah, because if we beat this world, we can combine the moose bucks, and that will already get them enough power. So I'm going to put it on the wolf, make the wolf a 4/2. It's also a little cheaper, so if we happen to have kind of used up our black goats, it's easier for us to get to if we need to. And boss battles, tend to last a little longer. So that's our 4th damage, and then our 5th is either the pliers or pronghorn. But if I was trying to figure out Moosebuck and Pronghorn's movement, it's going to be a real pain to find a turn where they hit the right squares, or to land them properly, and I'm not good with the movement abilities. I don't trust myself to count them correctly. So instead, I'm going to try to make the combinations that require the least to go right, I like getting a pack rat, obviously. So I think our deck's in pretty decent shape. Maybe we'll get lucky on the angler. We've never had it line up the two birds immediately. But if they do move in each other's way, and you can take them both out with one aqua squirrel, then you never have to play another card, and you can just build up your deck however much you want. Well, if there is one of them that gets through, you have to do something to neutralize the damage, and it takes a lot more effort to keep the fight under control, because we have to put something out, and there's probably nothing we want to play. So you always take the first turn. So we go to 3. And that's not it. Yeah. I'm not getting Kingfisher luck. It's like 1 out of 4, right, that it blocks the other one? Maybe it's slightly less, because it always moves to the same direction. Anyways, we chuck an aqua squirrel, and we're going to have to play the mud turtle. Yeah. We chuck an aqua squirrel, we go to 1. And next turn, we'll draw an Aqua Squirrel and play the Mud Turtle so we can start healing a bit. This part of the boss, I believe he only ever sends out the 2 Kingfishers. So as long as you neutralize those, you can just sit. So if he had pulled this back and one of the Kingfishers had blocked the other, that would just be it, right? And I'd have all the time I want to organize any plan. Yeah, let's take a second Aqua Squirrel. We'll play the Mud Turtle without having used up one of our goats. Not that it makes too much of a difference, because our win condition is actually not a 3-drop, it's a 2-drop. And where do I want the Mud Turtle? Oh, the thing's going to shove stuff out of the way. It's going to move to the right. Maybe I should have gotten the other Kingfisher out of the way. But it's going to move in front of the first. So then if I put an Aqua Squirrel, if it keeps moving out of the way, then the first might be able to get back on the board. But I think this turn we put an Aqua Squirrel in front of it, and we get rid of both forever. And then we have to do something about our Mud Turtle. One thing to do that would give us infinite time is if we sack our Mud Turtle into a black goat, then the black goat goes to their side, but the black goat can't do damage, and we'll get however much time to organize. So we might do that at some point, but we'll probably have the Mud Turtle hit them a few more times first. And right now we just need to get the wolf. Once we get the wolf, we can end the fight. Because the wolf does 4, scissors empties the lane, pliers does the last point of damage. We can save the pliers if we use a pronghorn, but I think that would actually be a mistake because I think it's better to be empty on items just in case one of the first places we land in the next map is an item place. I'd like to regenerate all our items. So this fully pulls their Kingfisher off the map. Now there's no possible like screw up we can make that will take anything. Alright. It might be nice to play the Pack Rat after we get the wolf, but I think I'm not gonna put much effort into getting that. Alright, so hopefully we get the wolf here. We didn't. So I'm gonna sack the Mud Turtle into the black goat. And because it has annoying, I'm not going to put it in front of one of the Aqua Squirrels. I'm just going to put it here. And they'll take that, and then we have whatever time we want to draw cards. Because they can't do damage to us. Alright, I was going to complain that the wolf was on the bottom of our deck, but it was second to bottom, which rudely stops me being able to complain while also being effectively just as bad. Okay. So we can send out the wolf and finish this. Do I want to try to land the Pack Rat as well? I don't care enough. Alright, so we're going to black goat into the wolf. We're at 9, so this will be the killing blow. So it doesn't matter that they'd steal it next turn. And we have our pliers and our scissors. So we beat the first boss. I think this is going very well. I've had really good luck on these recordings. Kind of surprised. There's the whole like people speedrunning marathon luck is just always the worst. But all right, let's see what the last card in the deck is. Pronghorn. I forgot we had that. All right, we eat the Grizz. Got to use the pliers. And one boss down. Yes, the plier is taking out one of your teeth to put on the scales. I had no idea how to estimate our odds. Once we beat the first boss with the Mantis God deck, I was like pretty sure we were going to win. This one, it doesn't lock in as quickly, especially because we have no way to recur the goat at this point. Oh, that's no good. These are all 0 or 1 drops. I'm going to take the Wolf Cub, but we really have to get rid of it to make sure we draw black goats, because our deck is not good if we can't, like, if we don't have black goats, the deck is not good. It is way too expensive, right? One of the things you do in this game, as in many games, is you quickly learn cheaper cards are better. And then with Fair Hand Mechanic, you learn, oh, cheaper cards are sort of better and sort of not. And so you start building decks that, if they can force the right cards, are very good. If they can't, don't work so well. I think we go to the right. We could always take a bone card, incidentally, but we never want to take a 1-drop or anything like that. Hopefully this is a 3. It's a 2. Let's take a bone card. One reason to take bone cards is, first of all, it's a resource we're not using, right? Oh, we have a copy. We can copy a card. Is there a card we want to copy? No, we haven't put together any crazy combos or anything yet. Okay, so I think we just head to the right, make sure we get the items. Yeah. Alright, Turner is good. Our wolf is now 1 damage away, and Pliers is the other point of damage. Will we be able to still have these items by the time we've reached the boss 3 fights from now? I don't think we should expect to be able to hold on to them, especially now that we have the stupid wolf cub in our deck. There's a fair chance we get screwed on a draw. Like there's a chance we just lose, or we get something like this where we have the mud turtle, and the mud turtle is just not that good. Oh, I don't like this spot at all. Okay, I guess what we do is we play the mud turtle here. What's going to happen is it's going to hit them for 2. But we basically have no hand after this, which sucks. But if nothing happens, we win on the board, right? We hit them for 2. We go up to 6. The porcupine comes down. It hits us, breaks our shield. The bull hits us for 3. We go to 1 health. But then it switches places with the rabbit. Or we go to 3 health because we healed 2. The rabbit blocks that lane. Hits the possum for 3. We kill the porcupine. Next turn, we kill the porcupine. We become a 2-1. We take 1 back. Then they hit the possum. They don't kill it. They move again. And the mud turtle takes out the wild bull. So I think the mud turtle basically takes out their board, and the rabbit ends up blocking up their only potential open lane, because the snowy fur blocks the other one. Does the porcupine ruin all my plans? Probably. Alright, we need real cards, I think. Alright, we got the wolf. But our mud turtle dies this turn. Oh no. Okay, well, we have to pass. There's nothing to do. But the second porcupine gets us. Now, how do we not lose to the wild bull? We draw a black goat, we're okay. We can time Turner. Or we can Turner, but I think... What are we at? We're at 3 health? Should be at 3. Okay, I think we have to main deck, because there's no point to not main decking. Oh, but we can't play a card. For some reason I thought we had... So we have to Turner. Or we could use just the Pliers. Let's use the Pliers. Because if we can survive 1 turn, which we do, and we Turner next turn, we can steal the wild bull. So we go to 1. Not ideal. We still never can play anything. The wild bull will move in front of the porcupine, though. No, we die. No, we don't. Okay. I think we... Alright, let's get a squirrel just so we can play something eventually. We have to Turner. Yeah. And we block the porcupine. And the bull will trade with the porcupine, and the rabbit stops the pronghorn coming in. The problem is they have another bull coming. So does our bull do our overkill damage before or after? I don't know. I don't know. So I think I have to give up the bull, because I don't actually know how the mechanic works. Because the porcupine kills us. Does it kill us and that cancels the overkill damage? I think it might. I'm really not sure how it works there. So what instead I'm going to do is I'm going to kill it with the wolf, and then it will overkill kill that, but it won't die in response. And so I know it will happen. Because I think the other way we might just lose. I think that might be a loss. Okay, let's draw a real card. We can play the bat. I'm going to start healing a little. Yeah, let's play the bat in an open lane. We'll heal a lot. Our wolf will go down, but that's fine. We'll play a pack rat. We'll draw an item, see what we get. If it's bad, we'll chuck it. If it's good, we'll hold on. Or no, we won't chuck it. We don't have an item coming up. So hopefully we just get a good one. So this actually wasn't a problem because of the wolf cub. It was a problem because our 2 drops are low impact, right? We had just the mud turtle at the start. That's a nice card. That's a nice ability, I mean. So this showed how, like, not being able to recur the black goat ran us out of power. I guess we'll main deck. If we draw a black goat, we can switch to... sorry, this is running so badly now. Alright, we'll just do lethal. Okay, that was a tricky fight. And, like, already you can see the fights are just gonna be trickier, at least for a bit, than they were on the Mantis God fight. If we can get, like, if we combine 2 Moose Bucks, suddenly that's hitting for 6, that can one-shot a fight. It's a shame we saw Goobert so early on the left before we had done anything that could really take advantage of it. Well, we can't take 1 drop, so it's the Rattler. Not a good card. Not a card I'm happy to take. Okay, we can get rid of the Wolf Cub soon. We could try to get rid of it here, but we probably have better things to do. Maybe we don't. Like, what's higher priority than getting rid of the Wolf Cub? Like, what giving it +2 health would make a big difference? Like, the Wolf as a 4/4 would be nice, but I would much rather try to get this off our hands. 50% we get rid of it, and it is our biggest weakness. And also, okay, we didn't lose it, but, you know, a 1/5 that becomes a 3/6? Like, maybe now it's strong enough because it won't die. But it's still so low power, at least the first turn. It's so easy to get in trouble on the early turns. I think we're still trying to get rid of it. One trap is to suddenly start overvaluing cards. But another potential trap is, okay, we do get it in our opening hand. And I guess we can block the bull with it. Actually, this should be pretty comfortable, because the bull will move in front of the possum. The game always gives you some defensive structure where the bull either goes first turn or where it goes next, so you don't just get murdered by the bull. It does not have the same generosity when it comes to turkey vultures. But okay. We can't play anything either way we draw, so let's go main deck this time. And I think we still have 2 health on the wolf, so even after it kills the bull, it will live. Please don't play anything. Cool. Alright, I'm going to go squirrel. If we do draw the goat, we'll be happy to have a squirrel so we can play something. If we don't draw the goat, maybe we should play pronghorns. Now, I'm going to give it 1 more turn. Okay, there's our goat. There's a case for giving up on wolf, but I'd rather just do this way. Get rid of the porcupine. We're going to get hit by the boulder, which is kind of silly. The next turn, the elk's going to be blocked by the possum. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Well, we take 3. Even health right now, so... How many bones do we have? We have enough bones to play the bat. But I'd love to put the bat in front of the boulder. We can't right now. Okay, I'm going to draw a main deck, and I'm going to put the bat here. It'll get killed by the elk shortly, but it will force the buck to move back in front of the moose and the bull, and then the bull, and then we'll kill the bull next turn, and we'll die for it, but we will kill it. Oh no, we won't. The bull moves. What a genius! All right, how much damage are we doing this turn? Are we close to lethaling them? Yeah, we can do. We're lethaling them. So let's just make it 1 extra point of damage. We do have lethal. Because bat flies. Okay. This is not feeling smooth at all. Still, like we're in a good spot. We're on the second map. We have a decent deck, but we don't have anything super powered. So what I'd love to see is a cockroach or something that gives the goats the ability to recur. This is very much not it. Please don't give me all 1-drops. Oh, what? Alright, well, this is getting worse. We could take the cuckoo and move its ability to the bat, right? It is the only kind of desirable ability any of these have, which is to drop an egg in front of it. But you really need that on a flyer. But it sadly means we have the mycologist. So if we go to the right, what do? We move the cuckoo to the bat, and later we can X out the wolf cub. So if we go to the right, we clean our deck up, but we don't strengthen it. If we go to the left, we get a campfire, and then we get the mycologist, and we turn our 3/7 moose bucks into 1/6/14 moose buck, and suddenly we just have tons more options. So if we go to the right, we make our deck more reliable. We make it at a steadier level. And if we go to the left, we have much bigger upside. So do we want to play for our deck does well on good draws? Or we remove our deck's bad draws? And I think the question there is how good do we think our deck is? Right? If it's a bad deck, we have to play to the upside. If it's a good deck, we want to remove the downside. I don't love our deck. I'm not feeling that great about this. I'm gonna go left. It's a shame to turn down a path that has like 2 ways to boost stuff. But now we can both boost the moose buck. Actually, I kind of want to boost the wolf cub because we're gonna combine the moose buck later. I was first thinking we boost the wolf, get the wolf up to 5/2, so we have multiple kind of win conditions versus bosses. But if the wolf cub's a 3/5, then it's so good I'm happy to start with it, right? It's a 3/5 that becomes a 5/6, right? That's 5 power, so that's an answer to bosses. And if we lose it, then we only have to get rid of the cuckoo and we're back on plan. Alternatively, if we boost the cuckoo, if we lose it, that's fine. And if it's a 3/1, then similarly to the wolf, it's not doing quite as much damage as the wolf. It's doing 3 rather than 5, but it also can block a whole lane, and that can save fights. Huh. I think it's close. I think both of those, if we get the 2+1s, it's good, and if we lose the card, it's good. I'm gonna go Wolf Cub. Mostly because if we can sacrifice it and alter the cuckoo later, and combine it with another card, I think that has more upside than adding a ball. Okay, the wolf is eaten. I was actually hoping it wasn't at this point. The +2 power is just a lot. All right, we get bones. That's not. That's something. That's something. Now we have a tough fight. We get a sacrificial altar after the mycologist. So we will be able to move the cuckoo's ability off, but we still don't have a way to recur the goats. So we're basically playing 2 big things a game and then running out of power. And they're not even that big, right? It's just not that big. Okay, I'm gonna put the pronghorns out, I think. I'm gonna try to keep our items because I don't think there was an item refill. So if the pronghorn starts here, it will take a hit from the elk fawn, but then it will kill it. It's going to end up taking 2 damage here, but it'll still be alive. It's weird that an elk opponent has a raven egg. It's going to be tough. We're low on power here. I'm going to draw main deck, I guess. There's a case for going double Aqua Squirrel. Probably should have. Because we take 4 this turn. And we only heal 1 back, and then we're going to take another 4. Alright, I have to Aqua Squirrel now, and I probably should have last turn. We'd be in much better condition if we had a 3/5 Wolf Cub. Alright, take a Squirrel. Yeah, I have to draw a card. What do we need? I already forgot what's in my hand. We have to take a goat, right? We have to take a goat so we can get out the moose buck. And we'll put the moose buck. We're going to heal 1. We need to heal... No, 1 is enough. But I think we play so we block the elk. I'm going to put it here so it moves in front of the elk after our turn. Alright, we had to use our items, which probably means we're just dead. Probably means we can't beat the boss. But honestly, what items did we have? What were they doing? Not much. Alright, I'm going to draw squirrels so that if we draw from the deck, we could get a bat. That's something. But I think this is better. Pronghorn stuck, which actually means it lives a turn. That's nice. We only take 3 this turn. And we're doing 4 back. Get 1 point of damage somewhere. I think I just want the mud turtle out. Pick off the elk fawn. Doesn't really help our cause that much. But it stops a little damage we take next turn, I guess. It's a shame we take 1 back on this hit. I think we're still losing on board. So we only go to 9 here. Jeez, we're definitely losing on board. Okay, we've gotten a lot of bones here. So now if we draw anything bones cost, I think we should have it. We do kill the raven this turn. Both the raven. That's not it, but nothing we have will die this turn. Everything gets out of the way. We heal to 8. I should try to play the pack rat. That's really important. Right? I need an item draw. I need a good item draw. So I don't want to lethal them here. 6. I'll go... No, that doesn't work. I'll go there. I think I'm going to take the healing the pronghorn gives this turn. Play the pack rat next turn. Maybe that's a mistake. It's probably a mistake. Pronghorn's just going to die now. No, it's not. Because I'm an idiot. That's actually really good for us, though. Now, the pronghorn will die to the elk if we don't do anything. But it not dying that turn means we can sacrifice it if wanted. So I can draw main deck. And we get the bat. That's great. So now we can lethal them and get an item. Ideal. We don't lose, and we draw an item. And we got a Turner. Okay. We now have outs. The moose buck can win. We get the moose buck in the right row, we win. I forget if the moose buck moves the turn you beat the boss, though, so that's going to be really hard to figure out. But we're now going to go to the right path here to to combine the moose bucks. The wolf doesn't quite get us there. The wolf only has 4 power. We need the moose buck to do it. So what I need to do is I need to block up all the squares next to the moose buck so it can't move. So it's stuck in the right spot. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Grizzly's interesting. That doesn't work because I still need to clear the spot left of it. But I can, if I have a hand that can sacrifice the thing to the left of it, so when I turn, it doesn't move to the other side of the board. So I need to like have it stuck in the center left position and be ready to sacrifice. But we do have a 6/14 moose buck, which is a fairly common occurrence in the this deck, but always very fun to get for the first time. That's a lot of heft in one card. And we get a sacrificial altar. What can we do here? I feel like there should be something we can do. But we really haven't picked up great abilities. I think we're just moving the cuckoo to make sure we draw more goats. Yeah, I think we're putting it on the bat. Yeah, not much else to do. It's nice that we can play the bat if we get it, because we have the bones as an item. Yeah, nothing else wants an egg in front of it, because other things want to attack in front of them. And even Pronghorn, which attacks out to the sides, because it moves, will then end up breaking the egg the next turn. And the key to the egg is it blocks a lane for the opponent. Gives you a free lane of attacks if you have flying. But even if you didn't have flying, it gives you a free lane of attacks they can't attack back on, which is just really valuable because you can just focus on blocking up the other lanes. So the Trapper's tough. The Moose Buck is really good versus the Trapper, but we have to be really careful with the Moose Buck here if we get it, because if the Moose Buck dies, we lose. Unless we can spawn a good item. But I really would not like to use the Moose Buck up here. Yeah, so I'd much rather try to use the Grizzlies. Okay, they have Evolve. So the Grizzly's basically just gonna beat one lane. We may as well heal 4 life while it does so, though. Right? Because it's just gonna trade with one of these. And there's... You know, the Moose Buck can run back and forth killing them. Like, it could kill the far left, then it could kill the center left, then it could kill the center right, and then it would die to the Leaping Trap, and we'd lose because it's the only way we can do. It's not the only way we can do 5 damage. Maybe we wanted to clear them out. The Grizzly does 4, and if we can put the Pronghorn's easier to keep in a spot because it won't shove things out of the way. So if we get the Grizzly in the center left, and the Pronghorn in the center right, and then we use the Turner, they move to the far left and the center left, and they hit that square on the far left for 5. Okay, I think the Grizzlies are win condition, and the Moose Buck is going to just clear out this row of Strange Frogs. And because it will make a wall of Leaping Traps, we'll have time to figure out what we want to do next. The Moose Buck is really good at this first part, but it needs to, you know, it needs to die, right? It can't do it without dying. Okay, I should draw some squirrels at some point, because if they put anything in the far right lane, eventually that will come down, because we're going to die to the Leaping Trap on the far right. So I should probably draw squirrels so I could get a wolf out in case of that. So we need to play the Grizzly and the Pronghorn, and we need to have cleared out Leaping Traps. Now, to clear out Leaping Traps, the Pronghorn is a really good way to do so. Okay, we haven't sacrificed anything this turn, and we won't, so the Red Heart will have 0 attack. So even if it comes down, it's not a problem. It can't kill us. We can just attack. We don't have to worry about the Pronghorn. It will only do damage if we've sacrificed. And you can see we didn't do damage to the thing behind when we killed the trap. And I think that was the effect I tried to dodge earlier. Alright, so they can't hurt us. So at this point, we can figure out exactly what we want, and we know we need the Pronghorn in our hand. So I'm going to try to get that first. That's stage 1. We're also going to need another black goat so we can get out the grizzly. All right, there's the pronghorn. We have the pronghorn and the grizzly. I would like to get the black goat too. That means this will take a lot fewer aqua squirrels. Okay, the pack rat's interesting. Let's chuck the bones just so if we use the pack rat, which we probably will, it doesn't create problems for us. Okay, they still can't do anything. Let's draw a black goat. There we go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play the pack rat to kill the second left leaping trap. And then we will need to block the red heart from attacking. I should probably have a bunch more aqua squirrels when we do this. So we're going to block it from attacking with the wolf pelt so we don't die, because it has the number of sacrifices this turn as damage. Then we're going to need a third aqua squirrel into the black goat, into the grizzly. We have a black goat somewhere. And then we're going to need a fourth and a fifth one to get out the pronghorn. And then we're going to need to use bones with the rattler to make sure pronghorn doesn't move. So we already have the rattler paid for. Grizzly takes 1 squirrel, 2 squirrels for pack rat, and 2 squirrels for pronghorn, 1 squirrel for grizzly. 5 squirrels total. We need 2 more squirrels. So we're going to pass the turn. We're going to draw the first of those squirrels. We're going to start the plan. We're going to play the pack rat this turn, just to draw an item, see if we get anything nice. This is all coming together so well. We clear the center left one, A, because that's the lane we need open, and B, because then the red heart won't move, which would let another thing down onto the board. We block the red heart so we don't die. We clear the square we needed cleared. We actually need to do a lot of damage the turn we win. We will do enough damage, actually. Okay, I think this all works. We draw another squirrel. Oh, we got a pelt out of this. This was also nice. We can use the pelt to blockade, but we won't. Aqua squirrel number 2. Now we get the pronghorn down. We need exact squares. This really matters, because the turner, we need to hit the right lane. We have the rattler here. That will kill the red heart along with the pronghorn. We needed 1 more aqua squirrel, which we counted to. Yes, black goat. And the grizzly. That was our other out. We also actually could do it with the wolf. This way the pronghorn won't move. It's not one of the ones that pushes things out of its way. We don't actually lethal them this turn, but we don't need to because the rattler does kill the frog. And so we get it next turn. Nothing will move. We get it next turn. We don't starve, or we don't deck ourselves. Still have just very few cards left, but a few. This is great. I'm going to pause after we hit the next world map. Just because I have to do some things. But yeah, we can use the turner. We just pulled this off. 2 cards left. 1 squirrel, 1 bat. And there's the 5 damage. Ooh. Alright, 2 bosses down. This is going great, but also really has been at the precipice of disaster. But we solved our 1-drops problems. We have good 1-drops. Our one problem is our black goats aren't that great, right? And our targets aren't that great. We have lots of things like pronghorns and mud turtles that just don't change the fight on their own, and so we need to draw other things. I wish I'd used the bones. I didn't realize that's the item we got. They're sometimes really hard to see. Okay, we got the beaver. Beaver is a legitimate combo with Black Goat, as we talked about earlier, because it spawns 2 dams that also can be sacrificed. So it means each of our Black Goats is potentially 3 things dropping. And we'll stop here for now. Okay, that pause over. We beheld the beauty of the dawn. The woodlands. This is the Prospector. Alright, what's our deck looking like? Got the Moose Buck. I like our bat. The thing is, if the egg spawns a Raven, the bat still goes even with it damage-wise, and we still get rid of a lane, which is just generally good for us. I guess the Moose Buck might push it out of the way and make it not work as well, but still, that's a good card. We have the 2 Black Goats, we have the 4-2 Wolf, which was helpful, but now the 4-6 Grizzly. We still don't really have a great way to beat the bosses, but the deck looks pretty good right now. And, oh, I was excited about something. What was I excited about? Didn't we get, like, the beaver or something? Did I see a beaver? Yes. If we can put the beaver on the Black Goat, then we have a much more reliable way to pump out damage. And we see Goobert. Goobert versus items. That's a tough pick right now. We could get another 614 Moose Buck. Okay, this is very easy Corpse Maggots. We can get out expensive things even more easily. That's great. So we'd love to see some sacrificial altars. So do we want another 614 Moose Buck? That seems pretty good. Or do we want items? It's got to be the 614, right? Just gotta be. Is that items or a sacrificial altar at the top left? I think it's items. It's very hard to see, but I think it's items. So I'm going to take Goobert here, and then we'll probably take items. There's a case for, I think we have the antlers, the hoof for the totem. So there's a case for going to the Woodcarver, right? Normally it'd be just a horrible decision to go to the Woodcarver, but right now it might not be so bad a choice. Now if we could combine 2 of these Moose Bucks, a 1228 can do work. 514. That's a shame, but not a big loss. So we got to fight here. It is a sacrificial altar. Okay, we're going to go for the sacrificial altar because I really want to get the beaver on the Black Goat. Almost certainly. We'll see the next tile that's coming after, and maybe that would change things. All right, no double strike or anything that's going to insta kill us. If we get the Moose Buck, we get a 1-turn kill. We do not. We don't even get close. Okay, I'm gonna go for the closest thing to a 1-turn kill. I'm gonna Black Goat. This will get a 5th and 6th. A 5th and 6th. Brain's gone. Where do I want to put this? I don't want the Rattler to die this turn, so the Rattler has to be center left. And this should be... So they'll come down, they'll hit, and they'll move. I think I want it center right. I think this will trap the Pronghorns. We do 9 damage. We don't have lethal because the mole's going to stop extra damage. But my idea is to trap the Pronghorn, who otherwise would have the skink ability and would be able to move out of the way of stuff. Because the Rattler's going to attack, and that's going to force the Mole Man to get in the way, and that traps the Pronghorns. And then, we're lucky where the Elk Fawn landed. We can kill the Elk Fawn through the Pronghorn. That's beautiful. Alright. Yeah. And we'll take 1 from the other Pronghorn, but it won't be able to get through to us. And if we land the wolf next turn, we can kill the mole. We can kill the other Elk Fawn through the mole. I think I kept things stuck really well this fight. Our deck's not... We really need more repeated power on the Black Goat. Like, we get a card out, But if it's the mud turtle, like, that's just not very exciting. And then we lose steam really quick. And it would be really nice if we could have a way to not... Oh, we could have lethaled them if I'd sacked the mud turtle, right? Yeah, because they were at 6, so we would have killed them. Okay, it's lethal. Not the end of the world. That will now dodge out of the way, but the elk fawn is still trapped. Shame we can't kill the pronghorn through it. Oh, now that means it's not trapped. Oh. This fight's actually trouble now. I wish I'd found lethal. That would have been good. It's the corpse maggots just dies. That sucks. And the elk moves in the way of the mud turtle. Well, that sucks. Okay, we have lethal. What a draw. What a draw. Let's put an egg in the way. Oh, they got the raven egg. That's funny, but okay. That was very lucky draw. This was very close to being over. I should not have missed lethal there. If we lost there, that was entirely my fault. What do we have? Ooh, that looks like a cave on the left, so we're definitely going to the left. We know the cave is great. I used to use the cave as a chance to miss to guarantee I wouldn't get a 1-drop, but now I love the cave. Okay, third black goat. Not great, because when we put the beaver ability on our black goat, it's only a 1/3 chance that that's the black goat we draw in the opener. We could also put the corpse maggots on something expensive. I'd really like to get a lot of sacrificial altars before the end. There's always that one sacrificial altar before the final boss. And maybe we'll take it. So far, we've always used that for... I think we used that for a totem once. Yeah, we got Death Touch. That was great with the mantises. And we've usually used that for items. We've never used that to get rid of a pelt. But I also don't think I've ever used the sacrificial altar at the end. And this deck might be a deck where we want to use that. Okay, they didn't get a great ability here. On this final area, we really would love to end fights quickly. Okay, so here we'll be able to see the glory of the black goat. Because what we can do, and we can't actually pay it off that well, but the dams it creates also can be sacrificed. Now they're a little bit clunky. We're actually going to have to give up the black goat here, I think. Because if I put the wolf where the black goat is, the dam having annoying would make the pronghorns eat it. Now, eat the wolf, which I don't want. I'd much rather it kill the black goat. The rattler sucks. And the mole's going to stop us having lethal next turn. And the pronghorn's going to be so strong. Oh my god. So we need a big draw. I need like a 3-drop here, or this gets really bad. Okay, the pack rat. What can we do with the pack rat? Well, we can certainly play it. And I certainly need to get damage on the pronghorns, right? No. Can we get lethal? I'm not paying attention. Alright, I'm going to put it on the far right. I think we did a bunch of damage. Yeah, that's lethal. Okay, the mole blocks and the pack rat kills. Also, could we play the rattler? No. So we don't have to use the scissors. We have lethal. Okay. Nice to get to end fights quickly, and this was only available because we got the beaver black goat. Because otherwise we couldn't have played the pack rat there, we wouldn't have had access to the scissors, but we wouldn't have had access to the 2 damage. So that was a really critical, but very lucky draw. This has been a very sketchy third map, but the third map's tough if you can't one-turn kill things like you could with Mantis deck. 5 bones, that's not us. 4 blood, that is us. Right, this is the blood cost deck. I'm not even going to look, we're going to take the 4 blood. I hope we don't get the bat here. 2, 3. Rude. We wouldn't have won either of the other challenges. It's only 3 attacking power. Alright, we can get rid of a card. I'm really thinking we get rid of the mud turtle, but there's also a good case we get rid of one of the black goats. Because we really... or the rattler. But I think it's either a black goat or the mud turtle. Because the mud turtle is just like too low impact, right? We have that in our hand, it's just too hard to play. But if we could get down to just this black goat on the left, we'd be in so much better shape, right? We want that to be a reliable draw. Also, if we get rid of a black goat here, the Rattler becomes a much better card because this will please the Bone Lord, and we now get 8 bones instead of just 1 at the beginning of every fight. So now the Rattler and the Bat are free. We're probably going to go left. I love the cave, and we get another sacrificial altar, which is really all I want out of life right now. And we get a forced woodcarver at the end, which, if we do have the hooved head, is really nice to hit. And so this is our final normal fight. We didn't face any double striking birds or anything like that, and we have a one-hit KO. That's beautiful. Right, because we can Black Goat into the Moose Buck, and 6 damage does it. It's really nice that naturally you start with a 3/7 Moose Buck. If you pick up another one and you go to the mycologist, you just naturally very easily get a 6/14 Moose Buck, and that does give you a 1-turn kill. One cool combo on the goat we didn't have access to here is if you can put the Magpie on the goat, then it can tutor out any card, and you can reliably get that 1-turn kill. We didn't have that setup here, but we did pretty well without having a super busted deck. I'm pretty pleased with this. I think we go left. We have the scissors. The scissors means the Moose Buck can beat the boss for us, right? Either of our Moose Bucks, because it just needs 5 damage. Let's pass the trials, though. And then let's not get screwed by 1-drops. Okay, I'm going to go 2 of the same. We have a lot of stuff. That's not it. That is it. And that's it. Yep, 2 goats. Alright, that is horrible. That is good. That is great. I mean, Sparrow is useless, but it spawns an item and it tutors a card. So we'd rather get that than the Black Goat, because we could tutor the Black Goat while spawning an item. I mean, that's a incredible Rattler. That's 6 damage, make a bunny. And we have the bone thing, so we can play that immediately if we get it. I think it's still the Sparrow. I think it has to be the Sparrow. I gotta go tutoring, but that is the best Rattler I've ever seen. And somehow it lost to a Sparrow, one of the worst cards, which means it may not be that great. But earlier in the game, if we didn't have a way to like one-shot things, like that's tempting. All right, what did I want to do here? I think I wanted to put the corpse maggots on one of the costly things, just to make it easier to get them out. But there's also a case for just moving the mud turtle ability so we don't get the stupid mud turtle. I'm gonna go corpse maggots here. And what would be nice to have cheaper? Gotta be one of the Moose Bucks, right? But I do want to control when they come out a bit. So let's put it on the Grizzly. Let's put it on the Grizzly. Because we don't care that much about... No, we're about to fight a boss. We do care about lanes. But we have the scissors. So we don't care that much about lanes at the moment. Yeah, let's go the Grizzly. And I think this means we will get items right before the final boss. That seems right. Oh, and I forgot, we have a woodcarver. And I really think we have antlers. Yep, we do. I said when we got that we should now be looking for woodcarvers, but we never saw it. This is not impressive. Do I want stuff to jump in front of attacks? Not really. Let's block flying, sure. Sure. I was hoping for, double strike, something cool and exciting. Or even just like spawns a bunny would be delightful, right? Beehive would be a kind of funny effect. We'd suddenly be overloaded with bees as our Moose Bucks run around. There was so much stuff that could be fun there. Or like the ability they have here. When you defeat an opponent, you get +1 attack for the rest of the fight. Just growing Moose Bucks running back and forth. Beautiful draw. We got the Sparrow. So, what do we want to actually do? I think I'm just going to take a hit here. I think going low on life, going to 1, will give us a little more time to figure out what I want to do in the fight. Because when we start hitting back, we won't do that much damage. And I'm going to draw main deck here. Because I don't have an obvious thing I want right now. So I think I'm just going to have the Rattler eat his wool. And I don't really have anything else I want to do. The obvious thing to do is Sparrow tutors my good black goat. But my good black goat only has 1 target at the moment, and its other 2 squares will die quickly. I should have put it on a goat that didn't have annoying. But because the goat has annoying, the pack mule will start eating stuff. And it also means I just can't occupy those lanes with bone-based stuff. So I wasn't sure what to do. I think I'm going to main deck again. We could Sparrow the bad black goat, not be wasteful on it. Maybe I'll do that. We don't actually have enough. We have 2 bones now, right? So we don't actually have enough to be able to play the bat. I'd be happy to block up a lane, but I don't really think we can. So I guess I tutor a goat and put out a grizzly, and we just sit. Worse things have happened. Seems a little underwhelming, but I need a win condition. We don't have that many cards left in the deck, so we're close to drawing something good. Also, we got the Turner. That's nice. Our black goat now can block flying. Great. So impactful. I could also put out the Pronghorn. That would pick off the 1-1, but that's not really that meaningful. Yeah. This just feels like I should have more to do, but I'm just gonna put out the Grizzly, I guess. We have lethal right now, right? With our 2 items, the Rattler and the Grizzly can win the fight. So it would be fine to kill them here. Oh, that's beautiful. I forgot the Grizzly would just come down when something died. I probably shouldn't have paid its cost. Alright, let's main deck. We can play the bat if we need blood. I guess we just hit. Sure. I don't know. I feel like something's gone a little weird this fight. I just feel a little confused. I mean, we win next turn with the Grizzly. We just need to make sure we have enough. They played a Grizzly, but it won't have time to matter. I guess we're just going to double item. Yeah, double item does it. Weird. Okay, let's draw main deck. Okay, I can't play it, but you know. Let's win, I guess. Alright. A sign that the deck is good. I felt like we didn't take near advantage of this as much as we should have, and got a good position. And we're going to respawn items before the final boss. That's clearly the pick at this point. Sure, let's go main deck, see if we get something interesting. That's not quite it. So we time turn, or table turn, whatever, and we scissors the Grizzly. And we head to the final boss. So one thing I do like about the Goat deck as compared to the Mantis deck is the run stays more interesting throughout, and that there are more kind of decisions to make throughout. You don't. Sometimes you can build it so you 1 turn kill everything. Like if you do get Magpie ability on your Black Goat, to search cards. That's incredible. Ooh, speaking of the magpie, so if we grabbed magpie, we could put it on our other black goat, which would be fantastic. But then we'd forego getting items. I'm going to take the magpie regardless. Being able to draw a moose buck or the right black goat at a moment's notice is really valuable. Do we want items? There's always the chance we get magic bleach, which is fantastic. That's the final boss. But I do love the magpie black goat. And it would mean all our 1-drops are excellent. Well, right now, one of our 1-drops is just a neutral black goat. But items are so good. I think we have to go items, but the fun option is to make sure our black goat is good, but I'm going to go items. The cowardly pick. And we got punished. So I guess I'll take a black goat. And magic bleach. Okay. So we now should not be very scared of the ship. But I don't think I've lost any of the runs I've done to the final boss here. And if you are going to lose, I usually lose in the first stages, not to the ship. But I really like using the magic bleach on the ship, so I'm hoping we get that. Okay, when we hit them, we take a damage. It's a little annoying. I think this is going to be our trickiest final boss. Because we don't have, we can't immediately grab any of the 1/8s, and I think every other time I've gotten here on one of these runs, I've been able to either take out in one way or another. Okay, so we'll get a second black goat in our hand. And I guess we should just get a moose buck out running around. I'm going to put it... I really hope the cannon doesn't kill it, because that'd make me very sad. We'll be way behind if that happens. But I will put it center left, so that one of the mold seamen moves in front of the 2/1, and then we move out of the way anyway. So we take 2 damage. We're going to go to 2 health. So we're actually really close to dying here. Oh, and we're going to move into the target. Great. Great. So actually, I kind of need to black goat into magpie. Just to block a lane. And actually, if I put that in the far right, then the moose buck won't move there. Okay. And what do we want to draw? We don't have a hand anymore. If it's the sparrow, we can keep drawing other things. If it's the rattler or the bat, we can do more stuff this turn. I'm going to take the rattler. And the reason for that is I see a 2/1 behind the seaman. So what's going to happen... No, does that lose? There. I might need to use the bleach here. I was thinking the rattler could go center left. This was dumb. Because it double kills. And then the moose buck attacks, and it moves the seaman over to the center left. And then the magpie attacks, which moves the seaman back. And then the 2/1 comes down and kills me. So I'm at 2 health, and I don't heal any. Is there a way to do this that I don't die? I think I have to use the magic bleach. Then I heal 6 from the moose buck. Yeah, I have to use magic bleach. Shame to waste it here. And then I can put the rattler here, and it gets 2 kills. This is probably fine. But I could have KO'd them. I didn't think that through. I should have gone for lethal that turn. Now this is another turn of me trying to not have the moose buck die. Because they'll target it. We're going to go center right. Okay, the rattler will die. That's fine. Okay. Get to draw. There's nothing else we can do. We got to draw main deck. Because we're not close to having enough squirrels to play something. Hopefully they spawn one of their seamen on the center left. Oh, I forgot we get cards. That's delightful. That's so helpful. Because we just have so much trouble playing anything. Also, our grizzly is going to pop out. I totally forgot about that. We won't have to pay for that. Alright, these are garbage cards for us, but that's okay. 2 of them are free, and they also killed their own thing. That's great. Okay, the moose buck will die. So how do we make the moose buck not die? We have a way. We just have to block the squares next to it. Both of them. I guess we'll play these cards. We can let the 06 die, but this blocks the moose buck's movement, because it tries to shove things out of the way. And there's nowhere to shove things, so it will stay where it is, and the mole man will die, and we're good. And then we will lethal next turn, and so the cannon won't fire again, so it won't have a chance to hit the grizzly or moose buck. Alright, my thing I'm proud of this fight, aside not dying at the chance we had to die early, is that I controlled my moose buck's movement well enough to make it to the next phase. Now the boss is going to hit for 3 a turn because we have the moose buck out, which is a whole bunch. It's a shame for it to kill the grizzly in 2 turns. But the moose buck will attack for a while. We have another moose buck in our deck. That will do a whole bunch of damage. Right? This has to get hit 5 times before it dies, so it will get 5 attacks off, right? So that's 30 damage. The grizzly will get off 2 attacks, that's 38. The stoat will get off 1, that's 39. We're already halfway there. I think we'll have enough damage. And we don't need to block every lane. We only need to block at least 1 lane to not take damage. Do I want to put out the bat here and get the damage? I think no. He's going to fill our other lane for us, because he'll have his dudes defect. Goodbye, stoat. And I just want to be able to use the bat as a sacrifice if need be. Though we may use the skeleton crew as sacrifices. At 2, Crazy Oaks Hayward. Okay, Pack Rat. I'd like to play the Pack Rat at some point. Maybe we'll draw a fun item. The Hourglass would be nice. A lot of items do nothing now. Scissors is useless. Turner is useless. The fan is useless. The wrench is really minimal use. But if we get the magical bleach, it's hilarious. If we get the Hourglass, it's nice. Like, I'd like to play it, but it might waste a little damage. Let's keep drawing. I want to draw our good black goat. We did draw our good black goat. So now we could triple play like Pronghorn, Mud Turtle, and Pack Rat. Not amazing cards, but we're just going to have this moose buck keep fighting. And we need to draw 1 aqua. We don't need to draw an aqua squirrel, because skeleton crew will actually take up a lot of the spots. And we just need to have something on the board. The skeleton crew will not be on the board at end of turn, because they all die after a turn. That's the ability, is you die after a turn. I should have explained that earlier. So we'll keep drawing. We need to draw a squirrel at one point, but it doesn't need to be yet. And basically our moose buck alone, along with skeleton crew traders, has done over half its health. So I think we did it. I think this is another one down. The goat deck's very good. I think the goat and mantis deck are a little overrated, but I might just be wrong. Like, these decks are really strong. And I think we had tremendous luck on both of them. But oh, we can only tutor once more. So when we play the Sparrow, we will draw the last card in our deck, which is the other moose buck, which will carry us to victory. So great job to the moose buck. You can very much see how the deck works. You get rid of the mole. You keep the goat. If you can get it Undying or Fecundity or what we did, the beaver, um, those are some great abilities. The Warren ability is really good on it too because it creates a second thing. So let's use the Sparrow to tutor the last card in the deck and see what item we draw. Scissors, useless. And they're at 21. We have a fun way to lethal them immediately. No. So I guess we just get out the Moose Buck. Alright, I'm going to get out... I'm going to use the Black Goat here. It'll only make one dam, but that's okay. And then we get out the Moose Buck. You can sacrifice the dam if it has the Black Goat ability added to it. It's a fun combo. Let's get an attack out of the Mud Turtle. It doesn't mind seeing the extra point of damage the boss has because we have Annoying on our Moose Buck. And I'm going to bring out the Wolf when it's low enough that we're going to finish it that turn anyway, just so the Wolf doesn't die. Because I liked the Wolf. I thought our 4-2 Wolf did good work. I think it was an honorable part of the team. And this turn we should kill. So this turn it can come out. And that's 5 down. This is going a lot quicker than I expected it to. Let's do the Wolf. Could do the Pack Rat, see what item we draw, but not much point. And I think this Bat did good work for us. I like the Bat. It's hard for me to... I don't really have an opinion on whether the Bat or the Coyote is better. I think they're about the same. But it's a nice card. Yeah, so that's the Goat deck. Again, the Goat and Mantis, I think basically things came right. We got luckier on the Mantis deck than the Goat deck, which hence the Mantis run was easier. But the Goat run, you get rid of your mole, you pick up high value cards, you try to make good decisions with items, you still have to make good in-battle decisions, unless you get a great Magpie Goat into 6/14 Moose Buck or better strategy. You're probably not one-turn killing things. You love to pick up dire wolves, grizzly bears, anything that costs 3 because you can produce 3. You love to pick up anything that means the Black Goat can do more. Ant Queen is a good pickup because if you move the Ant Queen ability, spawn an ant to the Black Goat, then it will spawn... no, that doesn't work. Right, the ant won't have the ability because it's added abilities. Is that true? What am I doing? Yeah, so you put... But if you combine Black Goat and Warren, you get the extra bunny. That works. I don't like Black Goat and Bee. Now I'm not sure about Black Goat and Ant Queen, if that works. I think that works. I think if you put the Ant Queen ability on it, it will spawn an ant that also has the sacrifice. So just anything that lets you get a second thing is really good with the Black Goat. And then you want to make it... Both of these decks are very reliant on the one-turn kill strategy, or not the one-turn kill, the fair play hand mechanic. Both of them, the previous one, you really want to get Mantis God as your only one-drop. This one, you want to get Black Goat as your only one-drop. And it's very built into the deck. So you're going to play it quite similarly each time. I'm sure there are significant, I'm sure there are things I could be doing with these decks to make me play them at higher skill than I do. But I feel like there's a kind of lower skill cap on them because the pads are narrower, which is not to say they're easy to win with, and it's also not to say they're easy to master, but I think they're easier to master. So I find other decks a little more fun to play with once I've got the hang of these. I definitely ran the Mantis God deck over and over, and then I realized that the Black Goat deck, I think, was even stronger because it's less dependent on what you see. Both decks, that means that where in previous times I often picked the question mark tile where you can choose between the 3 cards you've shown, with both of these decks I'm much more likely to pick the blood drop tile where you can choose the cost of a card, because in the Goat deck it's really nice to pick up guaranteed 3 cost cards. You really want those. And in the Mantis deck, you just need to not get 1-drops, and you can guarantee you won't get a 1-drop. So both of them have clear strategies and clear cards they want. The Mantis God loves campfires. The Black Goat likes skill sacrifices more. Is this, yeah. So they want different things, and I think that's really cool that just with the first 3 cards, just 3 of your 5 starting cards can be so important to what you want to see, what tiles are valuable, what cards are valuable. That varies deck by deck, I think is really cool. But I do end up preferring the decks where it's a little less determinative. So we've done 5 decks. These ones, and they probably looked at in these videos, but these two, the Goat and the Mantis, are widely considered the best two, with some people, myself included, thinking the Null deck is up there with them and possibly just better. I would be on board with, I think that's the best deck. I really like the Bones deck. I think it's more fun than those decks, and I don't think it's that much worse, but it is worse. The Egg deck, pretty clearly worse than those 4, but still a deck where, not every run, some runs are just going to lose, and you're going to be like, there's nothing I could have done, and I had no chance to go far. But every few runs, you should have a chance to go a decent distance, and I think it's fun to play, and I like it's another one where you can really use the fair hand mechanic well, because you're not committed to any 1-drop, but it also means it's going to be different every time because you don't know what 1-drop will come. So next time we'll do vanilla, and I'm sure that will take me a bunch of attempts, but I also think vanilla is quite good. I would put it probably in the same tier as the Bones deck, and for similar reasons. It comes with initial power. The wolf is not that far away from being able to beat the boss, right? 2+ to attack, or you get it up to 4 attack, which we did in this run. And, with a little help, it can get you past the boss. Your 1-drops aren't good, but they can at least go on the board and do something, and some of these decks have cards that just don't do anything. So I quite like it. I think it's a good deck. It does combo really annoyingly with the annoying ability, because +1 attack to everything facing it, 2 defense is just, most things have 1 attack, and 2 defense then suddenly dies to everything with 1 attack. So it doesn't align quite well, but I think it's a pretty good deck. I think it's better than Eggs, and probably a little worse than Bones, but not a ton worse. And then the last 2 decks, I think, are really bad. One of them was my favorite for a while in Ants. We'll get to it, but I think these decks are a problem. One thing I really enjoy about the vanilla deck is I tend not to play for the fair hand mechanic and just try to build a good deck. And I enjoy doing that, right? Like, you want to master different techniques, but also it's nice to just try to build like a solid deck with like good cards, put together good abilities, have everything be able to have some impact. Where a bunch of these decks, like the Mantis God deck, a lot of cards I took, I was like, this is a terrible 2-drop, but we never draw or play that card because the Mantis God wins already, right? We're taking cards that don't get in the way of what we're doing, rather than making a deck that's good all the way through. And when you play the vanilla deck, I really think you usually end up just trying to build a good deck, a bit like the Bones deck. That's why I sort of have them similar. So I would phrase it as the Goat deck and the Mantis deck are kind of top tier. Here is your strategy. It's a very good strategy deck. The Null deck is top tier, doesn't dictate your strategy. The Bones and the vanilla deck are, you're given tools to do stuff, but your strategy is not that dictated, in my opinion. The Bones a little more. You usually build around Direwolf Pup, but you're going to build around what you have. Here, you're going to build around Wolf, but you're going to take what comes and you're going to adapt to it, and they're pretty good decks. The Egg deck is another, you're going to take what comes. There's not really this inbuilt strategy, but you have a lot of obligations. You just have no damage output. It's really hard for you to clear stuff. You're going to need to figure things out, but you can adapt to what comes. You can take whatever good, or most good cards that come, unless they have really low power. The Ant deck, like the Blood and the Trifurcated deck, I think kind of locks you into a strategy. but the strategy is terrible. And so that's just a really tough place to be. And I feel a similar way about the Waterborne, um, where if a deck locks you into a great strategy, that's great. If a deck doesn't lock you into a strategy but gives you tools, that's great. But if a deck kind of locks you into a strategy and the tools suck, that's a rough time. All right, 5 down.